until down over the eyes. Okay? Don't cheat. Honestly try to feel it. clear about the direction that you will be moving into? Yes? Yeah? So this is a very clear feeling. It's not something like you force yourself into. Could you feel that? No?
Why?
Like inside that you feel that you're prompted to move in a particular direction. Do you feel this? How about you, Sophie? Yes? Everybody? Yes, Melvin? Yeah, Nicole?
Sure, you have to believe.
You're not sure. Okay, that may take a bit of training, but most people feel it. And that is actually very, very good because what now I'm getting at, that another type of mini space clearance, which at some point I was really forced to do, again in a business situation, where the client said, Anna, we can't use the fire, we can't use the smoke, we can't use the candles. What do we use? So at that stage, I knew that's the only thing that we can use. So my own human chi had to be used for space clearance. And I had to check where is the center of the office from the floor plan, so I'm not taking any chances. And I was there meditating for 1.5 hours and just use the bells. That's it. And it cleanses the whole thing. Okay? So in a situation such as apartment, and you have the issue where to dispose this, where to dispose that, the neighbors will complain, you don't have a balcony, that's what you do. Okay? I didn't want to scare you earlier in the day, because if I would say, oh, you're just doing the feng shui, both, yes, that's how you do it. You do a proper meditation, you go deeply into your subconsciousness, you align yourself with the center of the house, because the center of the house, as we know, how many of you study feng shui? Is that pinpoint where the energy enters into the entire place. In Chimanduja chart, we know that the energy goes from the center into all other palaces, right? In a feng shui compass, lower pan, we can see that there is a needle in the center. So you become like that center where the needle becomes so sensitive that you begin to feel the direction. And then with your human chi, you can actually change things. But your human chi has to be strong enough. This is where this idea, this concept of the personal strength comes into. So you have to be physically strong, you have to be mentally strong, you have to be balanced emotionally. And that means that if you're a practitioner, you have to have a particular lifestyle. But if you're not, for yourself, you still would not do the space clearance when you are sick, tired, angry, nervous. Like your brother asked you to do space clearance for him, but you're so upset with him, it wouldn't work, right? So you have to be settled, and then remember, guys, the human chi is the strongest. Everything that you're learning here cannot work on its own without human chi. It's you are the one who is putting the meaning, who is empowering those candles, salt, herbs, whatever. Yes, they have certain qualities on their own, but you're the one who's making all of this active, okay? So everything starts with you. So I've charged my laptop and we can continue. While I'm fixing here, did we have any questions? As you will. Was there anything that you were not clear about? No? Everything is good? Straightforward? Yes? what happens. You already started. And the blood will. Yes, yes, something's happening. And blood. And then blood.
Okay.
We go up and blood and blood.
Yeah, right.
Your dog's okay, so there's Mercury is in retrograde. Okay, hopefully. Yes? Yeah. Under all senses, even the quick. Alright. So, with essential oils, so essential oils. So depending on what sort of essential oil we use for candle anointment and for candle making, the effects will be different. You can read this table because you're obviously all probably literate and get familiar with what sort of smells could be used in order to enhance a particular element or resolve a particular problem. For example, if you're doing a house of a lady who's after love, the smell of vanilla would probably help to attract love and to initiate that energy because every plant is carrying certain universal energy which is associated with the sun, with the moon, with the planets, etc., etc. Of course, going back to talking about smudging, which we mentioned, we're using smudge stick, right? Sometimes it's only white sage, but sometimes it comes with other herbs. My preference is to use the pure white sage, but you may like to use it with thyme or St. John's wort or bay leaves. The bay leaf, which you have in your set, is amazing, quick cleansing way. Okay? So, for example, you had a difficult situation, telephone call, somebody calls you, a difficult person, like really there are, I'm sure most of us have somebody in our lives that calls you and you don't want to pick up this signal, right? How many of you have someone like this? Yeah, I think everybody. Yeah. Nobody likes to admit it, but it's true. So you usually never call them, but you do. And you do have to pick up. And after that, you're unsettled, and you wasted time, and you're upset, and you can't actually tell them, get lost. So what do? You don't start the whole house basically and stuff to do this. You can't do it because maybe you have to work. Maybe you've got somebody coming over in half an hour, but you need to do something. And that's where the beautiful leaf comes in, okay? So what you do, you just light up that leaf and you let it burn. And you would be amazed that immediately it makes it feel better. So there's not going to be much smoke. It has lots of essential oil in it, and you let it burn, okay? So what I do, I put it on a charcoal, because charcoal gives more fire. Or if you have a lighter that has a long nose, you can just burn it the whole way through with a fire like this. So it takes only 10 seconds, and you are done, okay? It removes, trust me, 100% for millennia people use it. If this is not good enough, and you do want that person to go away, and it happens to be this period, between the full moon to new moon, and it happens to be very close to black moon, and there are particular lunar days when these people are active. We know in lunar calendar course we've learned that that day expected. So let's say it's here. In the black moon days, there are 4 days between when the moon disappears, day 28, all the way to day 2 of the new moon. Okay, this period of black moon, where we don't do divination, we don't do feng shui, and that person calls you. What you do, you take a pen, ink pen, and you write down the name in that leaf, and you burn it. Either you will not hear anytime soon from that person. Nothing will happen. You're not going to kill them. They're not going to get sick. It's just somehow they'll stop being intimidating, at least for a certain period. Okay? This is not like magic. This is like protecting you. It's your aura gets cleansed from that attachment. Just tiny bit lifting it, okay? It doesn't remove it completely because it could be karmic attachment. It could be all sorts of things, but this is not dangerous. This is not harming anyone. This is just something that will, for sometimes, alleviate, okay? Make things better. Since we're talking about bay leaves, equally, when there is something that you wanna, let's say you applied for grant, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and they don't get back. You call and say, well, we haven't heard, sorry, we haven't decided, and you just wish they make a decision with that application. And that happens to be between the new moon and full moon. That's opportunities. That's your luck. What you do, you write what you want to get, positive reply, successful application. You write it from the bay leaf and you burn it. Off you go. You will hear positive? Yes, yeah, it works. If it doesn't, then you are really not meant to have it. That's not yours, okay? That's not your path. Because what the baby does, it removes the obstacle. Sometimes we want to have something that we are not entitled to have, we shouldn't have. And that happens when we are trying to take somebody else's place. You're applying for a job, but it's somebody else's path to be in that position, not yours. Maybe a better place is waiting for you. So when you don't get it, that's actually good for you, right? But bay leaves work in this situation. So you can try it. It's a little kind of just trick of space clearance, but
Can you repeat about requesting for grant?
Yes.
You
You
write
write what you want to happen
on
the bay leaf, yes, and you get it. But it has to be at the right time.
So we must write it on a bay leaf, not on a piece of paper.
No, on the bay leaf, and you burn it. It goes directly there.
Yeah. Can you write down the ingredient? How you were saying about what are the things inside it?
Okay, guys. Now we are between the full moon and new moon. Okay, we are on the receiving moon. You can now do an exercise. Write on the bay leaf something that you want to get rid of. Okay, let's say anxiety. I'm not saying get rid of somebody. Anxiety, money worries, whatever. You don't want intimidation. The boss intimidates you. Okay, you want to get rid of intimidation. I'm just checking if I have this smaller pen to give you, because I think I did have that pen. You can do it at home as well, okay? You don't have to do it now. Because you need the ink pen. Yeah, so you can do it at home, doesn't matter where you do it. Okay, so going back, I think everybody's very excited.
How do you know it's a bay leaf?
Sorry? I think it,
Where to buy it?
when you buy bay leaves, okay, you go to any, I guess, Italian or European delicatessen shop, and you ask them for European bay leaves. Okay? Get European bay leaf. Don't get the Australian bay leaf because it doesn't work. For some reason, I can't explain why. But I see the difference.
European bay leaf.
European, Middle Eastern shops, if you go to Arabic shops, they have European bay leaf. Persian shops as well, because you go to all sorts of like Iranian shops, Arabic shops. So the Arabic shops would have European bay leaf.
Ma sta bene,
Yeah, you say you need European bay leaf,
It has to be European.
not Chinese, not
No Chinese, no Australian, it has to be European. And on the tag, it would say European bay leaf. It even smells different. It's just a different species, I guess.
Are you going to tell us the ingredient?
Sorry?
The ingredient.
Yeah.
The names of all the how
I will tell
so
you.
that once we finish using this,
Yes, you can buy more. Yes,
You can buy them all, yeah.
Definitely, I'll do that.
I use it, the track.
But as a computer, you say,
Yeah.
So, I use the white track. Yeah, so it can be printed.
So I'll get an old spelling. Charge the phone. Well, it's 1% of my phone. Let me charge the phone for 5 minutes and then I'll write it. Okay, so we'll do it before we leave. Let us continue. So for candle anointment, the best ones, the essential oils to use are orange, kaffir lime, geranium, vetiver, lavender, or rose. So if you do space clearance like regularly, I suggest you get all of them. And what you do, you can actually get the rose essential water. That is also easy to get in Arabic stores. If you get it from the European stores or the delicatessen, it's like this bottle will cost like $40. If you go to Arabic shop, the same bottle, not as beautifully labeled, will cost you $5. Okay? But the water is the same. What you do in the fancy shop is that just repackage it. So you get essential rose water or maybe the orange blossom. Orange blossom, and then you can add a bit of like few drops of essential oil. That would be something that you use in sprinkler water. Okay, understand? What's happening here? Yes. So, if you were to use herbs in candle making has lots of nuances. But for you, maybe, for those of you who would like to try, you would use certain herbs. So, if you were to make the candles on Sunday, you will be using sunflower, calendula, sandren's wort. So these days correspond to particular days and the planets because they carry planetary energy, and this is what actually works, right? Because we know that when we study Vedic astrology, a certain planet, let's say Venus, is associated with particular, let's say, with pearls. So people who would like to enhance their Venus love, they would be wearing pearls more, they would be using brass jewelry. That would be enhancing their love, okay? The same for herbs, they're carrying certain energy, and this is what's used in candle making to boost the space clearance. So you're not just using any candle, you see? We have discussed the ceremony in general, and we're trying to be practical, so use what we have. But if you're trying to boost it, you can go one step further, specifically getting the right colors, the right oils, the right herbs. You could be using herbal candles. So this is making things stronger and stronger and stronger. And this is why you're really learning so much, not just walking through one way, the other way, meditation bells, and sit you are done. You can take it much further and make it immediately effective. So this is one of the candles that I was using on my altar, and this is the white candle that I was using for cleansing, with lots of spices that I used for cleansing, such as cloves and clove oil. To boost it further, if we're talking about herbs, you can use the herbal powders. And what you do, you are using your charcoal, right? Then you got your incense, like frankincense and all these other things. But you can also put next to it another piece of charcoal or another 2 pieces of charcoal and sprinkle something over it. So in the bowl, you don't always have to have 1 charcoal. You can have 2, 3, 5, as many as you like. And depending on what you're trying to achieve, you can boost the power with the herbal powders. So there are 5 types that I recommend you can make yourself, because you're not going to go to the shop and buy the ready-made love powder. So for the love powder, you make, you use lavender, rose petals, and ginger. So all the ingredients, of course, are dry. And then you put them either through coffee grinder, or you can just use the petal and just grind it yourself in a plate or in a bowl. Lard powder, vetiver, allspice, nutmeg, money powder, cheddar, patchouli, galangal, and ginger. For protection, dragon blood, sandalwood, and salt. Protection super powder, mugwort, frankincense, dill, juniper, and cumin. Yes.
When we're doing this powder, all of them have to be dry.
Dry.
So even the
Ginger
can
has
get
to be dry, yes, because we are trying to burn it. We don't want anything wet,
Okay.
right? And also, you can't dry anything finally unless it's really good to dry.
But some of them, they come already ready-made, so can you buy most of the ready-made powder already?
You buy, yes, if they come, the ingredients come in
Like
powder,
ginger,
and you just mix them, yes. So I will write for you the names of those herbs now on my board. So what you've got there is, of course, frankincense. Frankincense. While lure is found.
Are you?
Right. Okay. So that's basically what you have there. I've also added some tiny bit, like maybe just a pinch of Bakur. Bakur is Arabic incense, and to be honest, I really don't know how it's in English. When you go to Arabic shops, you ask them for the highest quality Bakur or maybe it's spelled Bahur this way, but pronounced Bahur. Ask them for the best quality Bahur and they'll give you it. Every Arabic shop something different, but that very powerful, exquisite smell from the bag come from Bahur. Okay, and Bahur is extremely expensive. The bottle, which is twice smaller than this, would be like $150. Like, I would say quite expensive, yeah, like $2,000 a kilo. You don't really have to invest in it if it doesn't match up. I would say that frankincense, wild blue, and dry classical, those three would do the job. Yeah. Like this is a bit like fancy, and I just added it to please you, but I wouldn't say that I use it all the time. Okay? So this is a standard thing that works, and that's what you should be using. So you may ask me why this is all colored. So this mixture that I put, some of it I put natural, and some of it I put colored. So it's the same ingredients. They are colored and uncolored, but you should know that they are the same. So if they in the shop give you uncolored version, don't think it's different. It's the same thing. Okay. So just some persicum leaves. They were like put in a green dye, in red dye, and they're part of it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 5 o'clock. So we are done for the day. And tomorrow we will start with a very powerful salt burning ritual, which you use for extreme cases when you really need help or the client needs serious help. That is not going to shift just with space clearance. So that's what we'll be learning tomorrow in the morning. Okay? You got the homework. Don't think that you're going to go home and relax. What you will do, first, you need to write 2 notes. One note is for the black candle, because if you're going to be helping the clients, you have to know how to do it, right? So, 1 note for the black candle. Imagine that you're doing space clearance for yourself. What would you attach to black candle? You can be serious. You can just write a sample. Let's imagine that your life is perfect. You don't have any problems to get rid of. Just imagine that you're somebody else, okay? Because I like to see that you understand how it should be written. That's my purpose, not to make you suffer. And then you have to write another note for the color candles. And you choose whether it's for red candle, for yellow candle, for green, whatever, I don't mind. And the message should be suitable for that colored candle. Okay? And you will attach it to the candle, I don't know, of any size, like just attach it to something. I want to see that you understand how to attach it. Okay? You can attach it just to the candle, so that you understand how it actually doesn't fall off. Okay, so that's homework number 1. Homework number 2. Please bring your favorite oracles or stones. If you have little granular stones like crystals, at home, bring them. If you don't, bring I Ching. If you don't, bring tarot. Bring something tomorrow. We are going to be doing divination. Okay? So I'd like you to understand the principle of divination for space clearance. And then you need to bring a little bowl, small one, with salt, rice, or sand for burning candles. Okay? So each of you will just burn the candle and really will get the experience of interacting with the candle. Okay? So we'll just do that as a bit of a practice.
But we don't have candles, so we have to buy it back.
If you have a candle, if you have a beeswax candle, it's fantastic. If you don't have it, I'll give you a small candle just for practice, okay? You won't be able to attach anything on it. But just as a practice, so you will see, you will figure out how it burns, how it goes into salt, how to dispose it. It's good to have a bit of a start, because when you do it for yourself, you won't be scared. Oh, I've never done this before, or I don't know how to do salt, or I don't know this. I want you to try everything that we're doing, okay? So that's pretty much it. Any question?
I have a question. What is different between two methods?
Sorry?
What is different between two methods?
With two messages.
Method to attack the candle.
Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the difference between two messages. One is for black candle. I'm trying to get rid, right? But you will not be right if you're trying to get rid. All the conflict and disagreements leave my family. All the arguments stop within my company. So you have to quite confidently say what you are trying to dispose through burning that black. So that's one message. Second message, I'm invoking love into my life. I'm invoking professional opportunities. Okay? So that will go on the black and the other one go on yellow, red, pink. Yes? Understand the difference between the messages? Okay, so that's it. You will be burning candles on your table, so make sure that it's the right size and that you're safe. Because I'll just step aside and watch how you're burning if it's not safe. Okay? That's it, all done. See you tomorrow morning.